What is the most disgusting thing you've witnessed someone do in public? Don't forget to subscribe for daily Reddit videos. I witnessed a mom on the bus put her mouth over her toddler's nose and suck the snot out. I had to get off the bus so I could vomit. A guy pressed his bare ass up against the glass inside of a jeweler's store and diarrhea liquid shit everywhere. It was disgusting. It completely covered the glass and you could clearly see it coming out of his anus. It slowly dribbled down the glass as a security guard escorted him out. Pants at his ankles, shit at his thighs. Once saw a homeless man grab a pigeon, strangle it to death, and then take a bite out of its head like it was an apple. There's this trend I've been seeing in men's restrooms. After they pee, these guys just go dry their hands without washing them. What the fuck is on your hands that you have to dry them? I posted this to another AskReddit a little while ago, but I saw a way overweight lady shit her pants and continue eating at a buffet. Try on shoes with dirty bare feet covered in some sort of foot fungus, then Reeboks and put them back on the shelf. Leave a dirty diaper on the table for the waitress to bus at a sit-down restaurant. I once saw a woman pull her pants down and take a shit in a park. It was absolutely disgusting. Tame compared to the rest of the thread, but I was in a business meeting once where a guy got bored and started trimming his nasal hair right in the meeting room. I was just a little stunned. 'Twas the day before Christmas. I was walking out of a Walmart in Texas when a lady projectile vomited while crossing the threshold. It was brown and I thought it was coffee until I saw the chunks. Her boyfriend asked if she was okay and she was like, "Yeah, I'm fine," and kept walking inside. We never went back to that Walmart. A stalker at Walmart, casually stalking the dairy case with his whole butt hanging out of his pants. He was a large man, and had his pants almost to his knees with a very long polo that covered his ass. But every time he leaned over to put something on the shelf, his full bare bottom was exposed for all to see. I was so shocked. It wasn't just butt crack, but a full moon. One night, while working in a nightclub in Glasgow, I went outside to empty the bottle bin. There I saw a man lying on his back jerking off furiously while, what I assumed to be a prostitute, pissed all over his face. Last thing I heard before I got the fuck out of there was, "You want me to squeeze out some more?" That image is burned into my retinas for life. It's a tie between. A longtime friend became a heroin addict, was hanging out with me one day in Midtown Manhattan while suffering withdrawals. I was oblivious. She seemed normal for once, when she suddenly projectile vomited chunky barf on a crowded city sidewalk while screaming. I was riding the NYC subway, packed train, saw a strange motion in my peripheral vision on my right side that caught my attention. Turned and saw a man yanking at his dick like his life depended on it while staring at me. I leapt to my feet and practically flew to the other side of the car. I sat in shock for a few seconds, more embarrassed and mad. Really? I'd been told this was inevitable as a chick in NYC and was pissed that it was apparently true. Noticed that nobody was reacting in a similar manner and felt batshit for a second. I thought I'd possibly hallucinated a stranger's angry, red dick because nobody was batting an eye, so I leaned over and, lo and behold, nope. He's still going at it and nobody gives a shit. Fuck that guy's dick. Figuratively, not literally. Years ago when I was in the army stationed in Georgia, I swung by the Popeyes that was on post to grab some of their mac and cheese. I walk in and go up to the counter like normal and say hi to the dude behind the counter who I kind of knew. Dude begins to take my order but looks behind me and off to the side in a way that very clearly was trying to subtly prompt me to look. So I do. And I see this massively obese guy. We're talking 500 plus pounds, in one of those motorized fatty carts. He's rocking an oxygen tank and an American flag shirt and is going to town loudly slurping through a straw. The fluorescent lights he's parked his cart under casting this greasy sheen against his neck folds. Thinking that the guy behind the counter just wanted to point out a gross fat guy being fat, I turned back around and make a face to indicate said grossness. The guy could tell I didn't quite get the situation, so he shook his head and leaned in across the counter towards me and lowered his voice. "He's drinking gravy." My expression must have went from gross to WTF, because he continued. "He comes in here all the time and gets a quart of gravy and just drinks it." I looked back at the guy with an entirely new appreciation for the situation. I tried to not be too obvious about it but it didn't seem to matter. The guy seriously looked like he was coming in his sweatpants from the rapture of sucking down that Popeyes Cajun gravy through the straw. Like it was the greatest experience of his life. Totally in his own world. I doubt he noticed me looking, and even if he did, I don't think you reach the point of chugging straight gravy in front of a Popeyes counter in your mobility scooter without having long since abandoned any capacity for shame. That dude clearly gave zero fucks about anything. Needless to say, I lost my appetite. I apologized to the guy behind the counter, cancelled my order and left without my mac and cheese. I've never been back to any Popeyes since and I doubt I ever will. I once witnessed an incredibly drunk lady get a huge, growing wet stain in her jeans on the train. It just kept on growing and growing. I left before she did, but I assumed the seat was soaked. Just nasty. Girl pulled out a bloody tampon and threw it on the ground. This was at Lucky 2015 in Seattle. I've seen a few. Working in restaurants only adds to it. Saw a girl blow two guys in a U-shaped booth at a bar. Wasn't discreet. Witnessed a strip dance challenge between a drunk blonde sorority girl and a 60-something-year-old homeless guy at a Waffle House at 3 a.m. It was cool until she took her pants off. He followed her lead, and that's when the cops showed up. Was at a dive bar where the men's bathroom shitter's door had a huge hole in it, like someone's head got put through it. So, as I walk into the restroom, here's this dude banging some chick on top of this toilet. The Virgin Mary would have died again if she had to walk into this room. But, lost, I guess. An hour or so later, I go to use the restroom again. And through the same gaping hole in the door, what do I see? A dude doing rails of coke on the same toilet. Bareback, just like the previous tenants. Was at a concert once. Managed to get to the front of the line at the gates by chance. The area the gates were slightly uphill from the rest of the line. This chick in front of our group pulls her pants down and pops a squat. As her stream started rolling downhill like a glacial melt in the spring, the crowded line splits into two as if Moses were parting the Red Sea. I've seen more than one person pull up a pill or something along those lines, pick it out, and re-swallow it. But the most disgusting thing I ever saw was a person die right next to me. I'm limiting details on this one. I lived in Hawaii at the time. My girlfriend then and I left the beach and went back to her condo. We were on the ground level, sitting on a curb finishing our cigarettes. I see a figure in my peripheral vision, then hear a bristle, as this man lands face down on the concrete about 6 feet away. He jumped from the condo above hers, on the 15th floor. He didn't know we were there because we were sitting under palm trees. It didn't make a mess. It was a clean and fast. Yet, witnessing suicide was the most disgusting thing I've seen. Scratch their balls before going through the produce bin at the grocery store. I watched a homeless dude fuck a newspaper machine. Girl in my English class once put her hand in her pants, licked her fingers, got up, walked out of class, then pulled a tampon out from her pants while the door was closing. Edit. Background is that I was 21 when this happened. I did my best to fix the inference that a woman in her late 30s was old. Frown sorry. I was in Walmart and caught a lady I assume was in her late 30s checking me out as she walked towards me. Got a smile and a wave. As she walks past I do the needful and check out her back end. Lo and behold, she had shit marks on her jeans. I had to be nice and held in my gag until I made it a few aisles away. I am more disgusted with the fact that a woman with shit stains, possibly fresh, on her jeans decided to flirt with me. I guess that's what I attract. Chinese potty training. They just cut open the kids' trousers and let them shit on the sidewalk. Fucking horrifying. Does a video count? Cause I saw one of a couple fucking like rabbits in a park across from a children's playground. I once saw someone discreetly masturbating in a commuter train. I was walking in SF with my ex-girlfriend and her 12-year-old sister. We were near Market Street by that big mall. Watched a fat homeless lady get up from her spot, move 4 feet closer to the road, pull up her dress/moo-moo and popped a squat. Then shit diarrhea all over the ground. She then put her dress down and shuffled the few steps back to her spot to sit down. She shit less than 5 feet away from where she was posted at. No wiping, of course. We crossed the street before reaching her. Saw someone pick the thick layers of dead skin off his feet and drop them to the floor at a middle school band concert. I have a couple. First one is more funny than disgusting. I saw a guy having a piss on a public toilet, as in the outside wall of the building. Second one is an old nutcase eating a pizza that he was resting on the top of a public bin. It was still in the box, so not too bad, but then after he'd finished it, he cupped some water that had collected on the top of the bin and drank it. Not the most disgusting, but at least my most memorable. A special needs kid sneezed in the hallway at my elementary school, and the snot basically reached the floor. Instead of, I don't know, just pulling it off his nose, he started curling it up on his finger until he completed the task. Man jerking off while riding a bicycle down a road. I went to a country music festival cringe with my sister a couple years ago. It was an outdoor venue where it's all first come first served. So basically a huge mob pushing towards the stage. Well, most people who are closer are standing in the mob all day because if they move they'll never get back in. I saw a girl in front of me take off her shorts, squat down, and pee on the ground, right where she was standing. And then she just put her shorts back on and acted like everyone didn't just see her half naked peeing in a crowd. Yeah, I think that's probably the most disgusting thing I've seen.